Welcome to Ziffity Quick Chat. Today we have Matt Boland, Senior Manager of Partner Program, Adobe, as our special guest. Matt will be sharing his views on how Adobe, Magento, and partner community can form a unique partnership for a better future.
Today we're joined with the Magento man himself, Matt Boland, who is a Senior Manager for the Partner Program at Adobe Magento. So thanks for coming on. You are our first guest, Matt.
I am honored to be so. Thank you.
Thanks, man. So kind of our topic today was just, how Adobe, Magento, and the partner community can form a unique partnership for a better future. And I kind of want to get your perspective on that. So since being acquired by Adobe, how has the Magento business changed?
That's a great question, and we get it a lot. And I think that there was a little bit of a blip at the beginning. I've been through a couple of acquisitions like this. I actually have a opinion paper out on LinkedIn that talks a little bit about Adobe's acquisition of Magento. And I think what happened was, Adobe is such an enterprise organization that several of the partners in the Magento space were kind of concerned, like what's going to happen? Is this going to all of a sudden what's going to happen to us? And are we going to be able to thrive the way we always have selling Magento? And, the answer is yes. There was a little bit of a blip there where a lot of marketing messaging and some of the collateral we were producing was really aimed toward the multi-billion-dollar organizations, the true enterprise organizations, and that did kind of say to the partners, okay, I'm seeing a trend here. What's going on? But very quickly, under the leadership of Gary Spector, O.T. Greve, our partner leaders, several other people, including our marketing at Magento, and hats off to the leadership of Adobe, recognize that this commercial segment, this segment of the business that Magento fixates on, right, that works really well within, is a kind of a bread and butter for Adobe. So while they bring something like Magento Commerce up into the DX space, right, the new unified commerce digital experience space, and build out that platform, the leadership has definitely recognized that the commercial business is a key component of the acquisition. So we've seen over last several months, in fact, you and I were on a call yesterday where we talked about marketing focusing on the commercial business. We're seeing the organization kind of recognize the two organizations as almost two different business operations, right? Two different businesses within the business. And Magento itself recognizes that we definitely have some, non-global, SIs, smaller SIs who fixate or are focused very much on a single aspect of the entire DX portfolio. That doesn't mean that they're not going to grow into that portfolio over time, but their bread and butter for many, many years in the partnership has been Magento. And they definitely want to continue with delivering and selling Magento as a standalone type of piece within there. So hats off to the organization, because we've seen marketing pivot. We've seen marketing address the concerns of our partners for collateral that focuses on Magento, but still offers that opportunity for our partners to grow into DX. But if they don't want to build a practice on something like, Marketo, or they don't want to build a practice on Sensei, or they don't want to build a practice in Adobe Experience Manager, they can still have a thriving partnership in the commercial business with the Magento commercial sector. And we're all about that. Hopefully that wasn't too much, but geez, it almost sounded like I rehearsed it, didn't it, Andy?
Yeah. No, that was perfect.
Yeah, thank you.
So kind of rolling into that, like how critical are partners to the business and specifically the commercial segment of Magento?
Yeah, I think that kind of dovetails right into the previous question, right? Which is, I think if Adobe was all about digital experience and selling the solution set as a solution set, right? And every deal was to sell the entire portfolio, then we wouldn't see the focus that we've seen. So, the Magento partnership, very different than what you think of in terms of enterprise partnerships. And we've actually seen competitors kind of mimic the way we've had such an engaging community and thriving community. Our partners actually help one another out, right, in competitive situations. You and I were involved in one of those very types of things where a partner in the Northeast needed a little help. I saw you guys as, someone who could help them, put you two together, you sold a deal together, and you helped the other partner. That's the kind of community that we have here, and that's why we have to keep it thriving. And that's how, again, recognizing and bringing out this commercial segment within the business has been so critical, is that we recognize that our partners have their hands in or have created every, let's see, what's the numbers I checked? I said over 80% of every Magento opportunity sold globally has either been created by a partner or a partner was brought in to help sell and implement the solution. So those are huge numbers, 80% of our business. And I think what's critical as an element there is we have recognized it, and we still have not, one of the things that can be very competitive, and I've seen it in other businesses, is we don't really have a professional services organization that's competing against our partners. Do we have professional services? Absolutely. Are they there for a specific reason? Yeah, they are. But typically they are not in a deal. I would say, 9.9 times out of 10, they're not competitively in a deal against our partners. If that happens, it's a very rare occurrence. So even in the establishment of a professional services organization, we recognize that our partner community is the lifeblood of what we do in the commercial segment, and they need to be protected, taken care of, engaged, and collaborated with all the time, and they are.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, you're giving some great responses. I appreciate it. In your opinion, why should a merchant essentially select Magento?
Yeah, I don't want to sound too much like a salesperson here, so I'll be careful.
Yeah, sure.
I think probably, without going too deep into the feature, function, benefit, all that stuff of a solution like Magento, I think probably the most critical element is that there's a flavor of Magento that fits any business size. I mean, it's still Magento, but it can be created to be something very basic for a company that needs to start to transact, like with what we call a starter store or something like that. And then kind of like a base implementation that allows a merchant to accept orders, execute on orders, accept payments, very basic stuff that gets somebody up and running. And then what's really important is, as that merchant grows, the platform grows with them, right? And you don't find yourself in a situation down the road where, oh boy, I've outgrown my platform, right? I need, my brand has gotten bigger. I'm more established as an e-tailer or a B2B organization or a B2B that's going direct to consumer. It doesn't really matter. The feature function set runs across all those things. And as the organization grows and they want to establish their own presence in e-commerce, the platform allows you that flexibility. If you were to go maybe with, a SaaS provider, they're delivering virtually the same templated type of experience for merchants, no matter who you are. So if you're if you have 3 competitors and they're all on the same SaaS platform, you're not going to be able to distinguish one from the other, really. And that's where I see that, the merchant has a platform that grows with them and establishes the opportunity for them to then create a digital experience for each and every client that visits the platform. And that's where uniqueness and brand awareness is what is really the strength of Magento. A platform that can't help you with that or requires a lot of heavy lifting to do things like that, you may find yourself spending more money trying to re-platform later on in your strategy, because you've outgrown that, then really just kind of looking at Magento as a starting point for you. I think probably one other thing, if I could, do you mind if I say one more thing?
I suppose. No, yeah.
I'm one of those guys where they say, hey, we got 45 minutes where somebody needs to spill some time, fill
An
some
hour and a half
time.
later?
Yeah, they call Boland. Hey, we need to fill 45 minutes. You think you can do it? Yeah, hey, let's go, Matt. No, I think one of the real critical elements here is, without pandering, is finding a partner like yourselves who recognizes and can approach each and every merchant with a truly bipartisan view, because you've weighed and you've evaluated Magento against other platforms, right? So I would encourage any merchant who's listening to this podcast to go out to your website or to reach out to you or Sajesh or Varun, right, the whole team, and say, hey, let's have a dialogue around platform selection. And the first thing you guys can do is say, well, check out some of our research, right? We've done this research, check this out. And that way you can read up on something without feeling like you're being sold to, right? And then come back to us with questions, right? Here's a great synopsis of, several platforms that we've evaluated, for the apples to apples comparison of the pluses and the minuses and the checkbox of Magento versus X competitor. And, finding that right partner is more important for that guidance on what the right platform is than for me to, extol the virtue of Magento, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully I answered it without sounding too much like a champion of Magento, which is what I am. Yeah, I left sales 20 years ago because I couldn't handle it anymore, the pressure. Yeah.
No, that was perfect. I appreciate your perspectives on all those questions. I thank you for your time. It's always great talking with you and, getting your perspective. It's helpful. And I'm sure that this podcast will help, agencies or even people that are looking for Magento specifically, maybe understand it a little bit better and how we can grow. So I do appreciate your time. I hope you enjoy your weekend, your summer break that Adobe has allowed you. So I do appreciate you taking the time out to do this with us.
Yeah, very excited to have done it. Thanks for having me. Very honored to be the first guest. And
maybe
let's do
last.
It again.
No, just kidding.
Let's do it again sometime. I really appreciate the informal nature of it. So thanks a lot, and it's always good to talk. I'm sure there'll be more. So thanks again.
I appreciate it. Yeah, thanks, Matt. Have a good one.